Hey, Andrew, can you believe it's Thursday once again?
It's crazy. And last Thursday I was supposed to be in Dallas teaching, and the world said no.
Yeah. Well, guess what? We're going to go ahead and bring you back in on the 4th and 5th, and we're going to have the same things going on. And it's going to be amazing. We've already got it set up. The numbers are bouncing forward every day. So we're looking forward to you having you come in and teach on Legal 1 and 2 and broker responsibility, which, we know that will be brutal, but we're going to make it as fun as we possibly can make it.
Yes.
And stay within the realms that Trek says we have to stay in.
No, absolutely. And it's what I love about teaching outside of my area is there's a guaranteed rule, and that's 50 miles in a suitcase, and you're an
Oh,
expert, and just coming
absolutely.
out with new ideas, new people, new thoughts. It's fantastic for me. It's good for them, and everybody gets some good information. So
We were in our team meeting the other day, and we had that conversation. I said, here's the thing, guys, is that Andrew, when Andrew comes in and talk, it always amazes me that he says these things happen in El Paso, and I'm like, that doesn't exist here. How cool is that? That we learn stuff that nobody else knows, and then I also think you learn stuff.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and I think that makes us all better, and I think that's what we're really always going for, right?
No, it's fun to it's great to learn, because the scary thing, and we talk about this in classes a lot, is the crazy thing is I'm licensed all over the state of Texas. I can go to Dallas tomorrow and sell houses. I
Right.
shouldn't,
No.
and Trek says I shouldn't because I don't have geographical competence,
Right.
but I can. And it's kind of cool to see, and you've talked about it there. If you're in this community, you know what's going on, but you go 15 miles away and
Oh, yeah.
you're in a different world.
Absolutely.
And same as El Paso. Realistically, I mean, we've got four sides of town that are completely different animals and breathe different, talk different, walk different, and just because you're licensed doesn't mean you should do it. And I think it's neat, and it's neat to get the different ideas and things, because we're not near bodies of water. We don't have very many pits or
Yeah.
muds or all those things.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
some people are like, we got one right in the middle of town. If you buy a house, you're dealing with it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And you talk about, you got a neighborhood in your community that has minimal rights
Oh, yeah.
in the subdivision in town. So I mean, it's just cool just seeing the different things that are available. And one of the things about real estate that I love so much is you have so many things that you can specialize in and understand and do. And
Yeah.
every day is a new day, and you have the opportunity. You've been given a license to be able to learn whatever you want to learn and go through whatever you want to do. So very cool.
My favorite thing is I was talking to a guy yesterday, and he said, I really want to learn a lot about commercial. I'm like, okay. So what does that mean? You want to know about
Easy
land?
wants a big check.
Yeah. Well, he does. Yeah, and I get that, and I'm okay with that. But so are we going to sell land? Are we going to sell gas stations? Let's think about a gas station. What happens there? Oh, we've got 10 buried tanks and this, and it's like, oh my god.
Yeah,
I said,
phase 1 and 2 environmental surveys and all sorts of different world.
yeah. I mean, you just can't. Yeah, yeah. I mean, so the word commercial versus the word residential. Because you think about, and I know we're way off subject, but I'm going to get back on it really quick. But think about it. My first year in real estate, my average sales price was like $72,000. Yay, right? Yeah, and probably 85% of the things I sold had wheels under them. I mean, that's just what was here. We're in a rural community. You had mobile homes. I mean, that's just what it was, right? And so guess what? That's what I went and sold, right?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So here's what I really so let's bring this thing back to where we are. So
Take it back down.
yeah. So for the last few weeks, we've been talking about what do you do? How do you create and generate a lead into your office or into your business so that you can make sure that you're the person that's in place to help these people move forward with their real estate transactions. So today, I want to really talk deep and serious about something that all of you are going to look at me and go, Ken, have you lost your mind? And I'm going to tell you, this is the one thing that if you will listen to me and you will do what I tell you to do, it will generate more income than anything else you've ever done in your real estate career. Okay. So let's make that. I'm going to say that one more time. If you will listen to me and do what I tell you to do on this, this will generate more income than anything else you've ever done in your real estate career. All right. So let's talk about that. What would that be? I'm going to tell you it's this. It is birthday cards. All right. So what do you mean by that? So here's what I know is that every one of you wake up every morning. You're just like all the rest of us. You go into your Facebook and it says, I have 5 new friends that have birthdays this week or this day, and I'm going to send out happy birthday to you, along with the other 7,000 people that they don't know who they are, and they all said happy birthday to somebody. I said, I think I remember that guy. I think we went to high school together. Yeah, but that's it. So they get all these things on Facebook or Instagram, whatever social media platform you work with, right? So they get all this, right? I'm going to tell you the thing they don't get is a handwritten note that had a 55-cent stamp on it that was sent out 3 to 4 days before their birthday that landed in their mailbox. They opened it that day and it said, and Andrew had sent them a handwritten note that said, buddy, I miss you. Happy birthday. That's it. That's all you got to do. Think of the impact of that, right? The impact of that is huge, right?
It's game changing.
Yeah, go.
Yeah, it is. Brian Birds. Everyone has heard of Brian Birds. From one way or another, we've had him. He's been on these classes. Sure. His grandmother, my aunt, that's all she did. I mean, her entire marketing plan was cards. I mean, but it was birthday, Easter, Thanksgiving. I mean, you name it, you were getting a card for it. Absolutely. And she was extremely, extremely good at it, to the point where if she missed it, she would call, is she okay? What's going on? And
exactly. Right.
Her business model was so good. When she left the business, she was still referring deals to Brian for years and years because they remembered her and would immediately, associate with her. I mean, you get 2 maybe as an adult birthday cards, and right. It is a game changer. And it is one of those things where, you don't throw them away. That's one of those things that goes in a drawer and you keep it forever.
And people, yeah, that's the thing about it is that, so there's a dear friend of mine, years ago that I sat down with when I was trying to learn how to do what you guys are trying to learn how to do. Right. There was always people in the office that you looked up and you said, how in the world are they doing that? And why is everybody else not doing it? Because we were all going to the same trainings, right? They were all saying, you do these 5 things: calls, notes, pop buys, items of value, whatever it might be, right? They're saying do this. And I'm going, okay, I'm doing it, right? So I'm doing it. And so the other guy's doing it. And then there was always those 1 or 2 agents that were just kicking everybody's butt in the whole place. And so what I decided to do when I first got into real estate is I thought, okay, I'm going to take the top 10 agents that I can find, and I'm going to go out and I'm going to interview them. And, I'll buy them lunch, whatever I got to do to sit them down and say, okay, all right, so if you're doing these 5 things, what else are you doing that changes it? Because you're killing everybody. If we're all doing the same thing, why are you killing me?
Because nobody else is actually doing it.
So here's the thing that I learned. So I had this one agent that sat there and looked at me. She looked me dead in the eye, and we're talking about a rock star agent, right? She looked me dead in the eye. She said, well, Ken, I don't know. Maybe it's because I send out 800 birthday cards a year. Like, shouldn't that be on the list? Yeah. But the cool thing was the follow-up behind it was she said, but here's what's really interesting to me is I get 2 to 3 phone calls every week of people saying, guess what? You're the only person that sent me a birthday card. Now, if I'm trying to make an impression on somebody and I'm trying to get them to go, hey, when you're looking for a real estate agent, you need to call my friend Andrew, right? How impactful is that?
Oh, it's a game changer. There's no doubt about it. And that's the thing is, I wish, I teach, you teach, Ken. you'll stand in front of 60 people that are just bright-eyed and excited and ready and taking notes. And there's no magic formula. There's no magic pill. There's no secret to success. We will tell you flat out, do this, this, and this, and you will be successful. The
Right.
hard part is you have to do something to be successful. You can't just magically, no one's going to go to your house and be like, hey, dude, I heard you got a real estate license. Go sell me a house.
Right.
They will after a couple of years of working hard. But
Yeah.
right now, what it's going to take is people need to know who you are and associate you as a real estate professional. And we tell,
and I think that's what we're seeing as we really watch what's happening in our industry, and we look at the changes that are going on. Is that there was a time when big brokerage made total sense, right? And we did that. We worked through it. And we made smart decisions, right? And then we looked up and said, oh, wait a minute, maybe we need to learn how to brand ourselves, right? Well, some people embraced that and understood it. Our friend Brian, he understood that. He embraced it and did it, right? Most people didn't, and they didn't get that, all right? So what something is simple, and I want to make you understand this, and this is so critical to your business. If you'll pay attention to what I'm saying to you, is that what is most critical is that you take the time to write that birthday card. That brands you so deep into the mind of the person that gets it, because nobody else did it. Nobody else did it. They all did it on Facebook, but none of them actually took the time to write it down, put it in an envelope, put a stamp on it, drive to the post office, put it in the bank. Guys, think about that. I mean, when I get that card, I'm like, if you think about what I had to go through to get that card to you, it's huge. I mean,
absolutely. And like you said, you had to take the initiative before Facebook reminded you that day.
right. Yeah. It's 5 days out, right? So what does that mean? That means I have to have a CRM. I have to have a customer relationship management software that pops up and gives me an indication that if I'm going to send a birthday card, I need to send it 5 days prior to, right? There's absolutely no possible way I can remember 800 people's birthday. Just not going to happen, right? And so the only way only way most of you know when it's somebody's birthday is what pops up on Facebook. But if you've got it designated in your CRM that 5 days prior to, it pops up and says, hey, write that birthday card, guys, it will change your financial life if you understand how simple that one thing is. I was talking to a guy yesterday that's looking at becoming a partner with me, right? And he said, well, what's different with you than with everybody else? I said, well, what's different with me is that we're so systematic. We understand that we have to put everything together, and we know that if I do A, B happens, right? And most real estate agents don't even know how to get to A, much less get to B, right?
Sure.
Right, Andrew? I mean, what's your thought on that?
I'm a broker owner. You've been a manager. I mean, there is nothing more frustrating than a new agent walking in saying, I don't know what to do. Okay, do this. Okay. And then it would come in the next, I don't know what to do. Well, did you do what I told you yesterday? No, it sounded too hard.
Yeah, I ain't doing that.
Okay, we'll try this. Okay. I'm not doing very well. Well, did you do what I told you to do yesterday? No. And I say it in class, and I say it all the time. I was like, guys, this is the greatest job in the world, but it's still a job.
Absolutely.
You got to work. The problem is the average real estate agent, if they put the time, energy, and effort into the real estate career they put into a job at McDonald's, they would get fired from McDonald's.
Oh yeah.
You've got to treat it like it is. It's really fun to sit there and say, hey, I'm a realtor, but I'm going to go and watch TV. I'm going to the movies. I'm going to the mall. That's not being a realtor. That's being a human being who has a real estate license.
So I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'm going to ask you a question.
All right.
So you got up this morning, you did what you do, drop your kids off or whatever you did. So today, how many people did you meet with outside of your brokerage?
It's been a quiet day, but I'd say 5.
Okay. So I'd say in most people's life, as a real estate agent, that's huge. 5 is huge. I'm going to say that I probably met with 3. Okay. And if I can meet with 3 every day that are outside of my brokerage, that's going to change my life. Right. So what I'm trying to say to you guys is this, is that if you think about the little things, right, it's the so I went into an open house today, and it's a beautiful home, $1.2 million. Agent that I brought up in the industry was selling it. I want to make sure that I showed up for an open house, love her to death, right? And I get there and I walk through the house, right, and I'm thinking, okay, now I know I taught you better than this, right? Because the problem is you get a $1.2 million house in a market that our average sales price is about 400 grand. Okay, so that's big, right? That's a good listing. That's something we all want, right? And so as I walk through there, I go, okay. I'm like, so I walk into the utility room, and you've got a light fixture up there that is broken, and the cover for it is laying up there where I could see it. And I'm like, okay, it's $1.2 million. The average sales price here is 400. You want 606, almost $600,000 more, but I got a broken light fixture. Then I walk into the kitchen, and the cook stove is like, everything's pretty nice in there, but the cook stove is just worn out. Now it's a house. They lived in it. I get it. You used it. That's a good thing, right? 500 bucks. You throw 500 bucks into it, and now it looks brand new, and you're asking me for 1.2 million. I might be a little more interested in giving it to you. I mean, guys, so the point of that is that if we figure out how to dig deep into details, the birthday cards are details. We go deep into it. We go, okay, we're not going to miss a single one. We're going to get them out. Here's the deal. I don't care if you pull them all from Facebook or however you figure out how to do it, and you send them all on the first day of the month, even if their birthday's on the 30th. As long as you get it there before their birthday, that's the key. Get it in there and get it out to them, right? Then the second thing that I wanted to talk to you about a little bit today is what we call client appreciation parties. And I know, everybody does things different, but we do some big ones every year. That's not really the conversation I want to have today. I want to talk about the little ones, right? And this one probably stuck into my mind better than anyone I've ever known. So I think by now, most of you know that I'm a firm believer in following systems. You got to have systems in place. You got to know who you're talking to, when you're talking to them, and why you're talking to them. And mostly that will be your CRM that does that for you. Okay. All right. So we sell this house to a couple great people. They buy a really nice home. I take them. I took every single buyer I've ever had on the day of closing. I've taken them to dinner. That's what I do. We close the house, we go to dinner. I buy their dinner. Why? Because I'm looking for that referral. Right. Right. So I do that. Right. I sit down with this couple, and my wife's there, which, is not a real estate agent, has nothing to do with real estate, doesn't really want to have anything to do with real estate. And we're sitting there, and we're having a conversation with this couple. And because of my CRM and the way I've tied them in, and I made sure that everybody was communicating all the time, the wife looks at my wife and says, my God, your husband's the best communicator I've ever met. And my wife looks at her like, he can't remember what he did yesterday. Yeah, which is the truth. I can't. But because I have a system in place that told me what to do, now this person believes I'm the best communicator that's ever been in existence, right? So that was that client appreciation, just there taking them to dinner. That's a client appreciation party, right? But it's on my schedule. I did it. We sat there. She said, you're the best communicator in the world. Guess what? I said, hey, Stephanie, I love you. Thank you for saying that. Anybody that that's looking to sell real estate, I'm never too busy for your referral, right? Now, where does that go? Right. That one communication that year was worth, because she was head of PTA, she was head of, yeah, all the crazy stuff that goes on. She knew every kid that was doing everything and all their parents. Just that conversation with Stephanie that year was worth 10 transactions to me. I mean, how big is that?
It's huge.
Right? You know, so that's the thing I want to get across to you guys, that, this is not rocket science. We're not trying to put a man on the moon and get him home safely in this decade. That is not what we're trying to do. All we're trying to do is just get people, when we go out there and help them say, let's list and sell real estate, that they say, you need to call my friend Kent. You need to call my friend Andrew. You need to call my friend Brian. That if we can just do that, and that's what a birthday card does. That's what a dinner at the end of a closing does, right? So one of my favorite things to do, and this is kind of the thing I'll kind of finish up on, and hopefully Andrew can jump in here with me at the end. My favorite thing to do is when I would close like 2 or 3 couples very close together that had very similar lifestyles, kids in grade school together, those kind of things, is I'd always invite them to my house for dinner. And so I'd bring those 2 or 3 couples in, and I'd introduce them, so that now because they've moved in from other places in the world, they now live here with us. Now they have at least a couple people that they can go to and go, oh, so your kid plays soccer. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, your kid's in band. Whatever it is, right? It gives them that opportunity to now be part of the community. So every time they think about being part of the community, who do they think of? They think of me. Okay. So, I mean, is that manipulative? I don't know. Here's what I can tell you. It lives and sells houses. Yeah. And so you have to make that decision. Are you willing to do those things? The thing that, and I guarantee, Andrew, you can come in on this, is that there's nothing that hurts worse than when somebody would walk in the front door and go, I want to list my house. And as the manager, I would say, okay, great. Who's your agent? And they go, I don't remember.
No, it's a nightmare. And it's then you got to play the game. Is it a man? Is it a woman? Are they tall?
Yeah.
Are they short? Do they wear glasses?
Yeah, exactly.
And then they finally say, "Oh, this okay, great." And then you get to know that person. Then 20 minutes later, the other agent walks in. That's my client. Oh, you're the other one with glasses that were.
Yeah, you're the one that didn't keep up with them and send them a freaking birthday card once a year, one day a year.
It's hard, and and I'm guilty of it too. I wish I could say that I'm perfect, but I'm.
No.
Don't tell my wife, but I'm not. There's a great book that talks about the whirlwind, and everyone has amazing ideas, and then the whirlwind of life gets in the way.
Wow.
My kids have sporting events, or I finally found a time to chisel out date night with my wife, or whatever it's going to be, or it's another phone call, an email, an issue, a showing. You've got to set those times to do what needs to be done to make sure you can continue working tomorrow. Because there's nothing worse. There's nothing more exciting to be able to tell people, hey, man, I got 8 deals working. And then all 8 of those deals close. And you go, hey.
Yeah, well, now what am I going to do?
Now what? You want to buy or sell a house? Call me. I got plenty of free time.
Yeah, exactly.
You've always got to work on next month. And it's easy to say. It's hard to do. It's even harder to do if you let the whirlwind get in the way.
Well, the simple key to everything we do is, first off, we got to get really good at 1 to 2 things. Just I don't care what those 2 things are. If they generate income and they generate leads, get good at those things, right? My things: calls, notes, spot buys, items of value, working that sphere of influence. That's what I was really, really good at. I want you to get good at something that generates leads, right? Because once I get a lead, I don't care if it comes from the internet. I don't care where it is. I can roll it into my sphere of influence. I can now become their friend. And I can now, over a period of time, get them to be an advocate that goes out and says, you need to call my friend Kent. And I'm going to tell you, there's no better business in this entire world than somebody that says, you need to call my friend Andrew.
Oh yeah, because you don't have to. You're no longer have to impress them. All you have to be worried about is unimpressing them.
Right, right.
You know.
And so at that point, if we do that, so what are the things that do that? It's these simple things we've talked about over time, right? It's picking the phone, calling. If it's a past client and you've gone through the mud and the blood and the guts with them, you can pick the phone up and call them and say, "Hey, Andrew, how are you doing? Is there anything that I can do to make your life better?" So, I mean, that simple little dialogue right there. If you'll learn that simple little dialogue right there to say, "Hey, Andrew, just checking in on you. Is there anything I can do to make your life better?" Because guess how many people have asked him that in his entire life?
Very few.
Very few.
No, and it's amazing how terrified the average real estate agent is of picking up the phone.
Yeah. I don't
Like, you
get
get the phone and calls them, I can't call them. Why not? Well, what if they say no? Then and you move on to the next one.
Well, and I think that comes back to the point of the fact that they don't understand our database. So Andrew, if I sold you a house and you live in El Paso, Texas, right? And that's my market, right? And you're an advocate of mine and you tell your cousins, your brothers, your uncles, your aunts, your neighbors, your guys on the soccer team, everybody you know how wonderful I am. Do I want you to sell your house and leave El Paso? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to sell you a house. I'm trying to get you to tell everybody you know how wonderful I am. Right. And I think that's where you miss. So the phone call is not about, "Hey, Andrew, are you going to sell your house?" The phone call is about, "Hey, Andrew, who have you heard or talked to that I could help give the exact same experience you got when I helped you buy your house?" And agents misunderstand that about the phone call. Silence. I got silence. I like silence.
Yeah. No, it is.
It's real.
Yeah. And I guess that's the hard thing is what you say is so much easier because what you say is, I don't want you to go make cold calls.
No.
I want you to call the people you know that like you. Absolutely. And if you can't call the people that you know and like you, you need to go find people who like you.
If you can't call the people you know and like you, you're in the wrong business.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be a turd. Like, so my job really is I'm a recruiter. I recruit people, right? That's what I do. I help agents come over and see what we do, right? So I was on the phone this past week and I called a friend of mine that's a great agent, and she was taking her team. They did really well this past year, so she was taking her team out to Cabo, right? I said, "You're going to Cabo?" "Yeah." I said, "I need a new shirt from Cabo Wabo." Right. So now this is not an agent that works for me. This is not an agent that I bet I got 15 text messages and 3 or 4 Facebook posts on the shirt they bought me at Cabo Wabo. Okay, so why? Why? Because I didn't say you need to quit doing what you're doing and come work with me. I didn't say. All I said was, "Man, that's one of my favorite places." So we connected in a different place, right? And so now we've created those conversations that we didn't have before, right? And so, and that was it intentional? Kinda, it was fun to begin with, but it became intentional.
And you got a cool shirt.
And I did get a cool shirt. Yeah, which is fun, right? So I mean, guys, just quit trying to overthink this stuff. Go stalk everybody you know, get their birthday, find a way to get a birthday card to them. It's as simple. It's if you don't do anything else I've ever talked to you about, if you just find every freaking person you can find and send them a birthday card, it will change your real estate career. So. All right, man, I got to go to awards banquet.
Oh, it's a bad problem to have.
Yeah, not that you've ever had to do that either, but
I have indeed. Guys, I hope this was interesting. I hope it was good. I will be going to the Dallas area
April 5th and 6th.
I want to say April 5th and 6th, and we're setting up a another education course.
Yeah,
And if
we're doing
anybody else is interested in one, let me know. I mean,
yeah, we're doing legal 1 and 2 that day, and then the next day we're doing broker responsibility. If you're up in this area, shoot me a email at kent@kentbush.com, because I know that's so hard to remember. Kent@kentbush.com, and we will get you signed up. We're going to have a great class. We're so excited to have Andrew come into Dallas again. You know, we didn't let him come in there in the ice storm because we get stuck sleeping on a cot at Love Field. But
well, that and 4 hours after I checked into my flight, it got canceled.
yeah,
When your flight the next day gets canceled at 10 o'clock at night, it's kind of a terrifying situation.
yeah, exactly. But we're gonna have a great time. We look forward to having you up here. Anybody that's coming in this coming Thursday at 10, we're doing a 1031 exchange class. So if you guys are interested in that, I think that's one of those things that real estate agents get asked about all the time, and they have no freaking clue what it means. And
if nothing else, take the class so you can learn some buzzwords like qualified intermediary. That way you sound like you know what you're doing.
So I was sitting in a class the other day, and 1031 exchange came up, right? And there's a bunch of pretty educated agents in there, right? You know, and I'm like, okay, so you know, we started talking about, you know, how long did you have to identify properties, and just and every single person in there had a different answer. Everyone, I'm like, none of us freaking know what we're supposed to be doing.
No,
yeah, that's why we go to class.
Yeah, you know, and you know, we've talked about this in 1,000 different classes and 1,000 different times, but it's amazing. The best agents are the ones that are actually going to classes.
You know, the top agents I've ever had in my office, you know, they come to every sales meeting and they go to every class. You know, and they'll make excuses about it. They don't tell me, "Oh, Kent, you don't understand. I got a showing." I mean, you never heard that, right? Because they understood how to schedule their time. They blocked their time out. They didn't let anybody else dictate their time to them. You know, I had a conversation with an agent today that was a dear friend of mine, and she said, the one thing that I really learned from you was that you set expectations prior to dealing with a client. And when, you know, you would say, I work, you know, and here I would say this every time: I work Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. I work Saturday, 10 to 2, and I don't work on Sunday. If that's going to be a problem for you, I'll find you another agent. And to this day, I've never had anybody tell me that was a problem. But I said, and guess what? They didn't call me on Sunday. They called me on Saturday afternoon, right? Because we set the expectation. And what you find out is that most people like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, it's I mean, like I said, this is a fun, great, interesting job, but it's still a job. You got to work.
All right, my friends, y'all have a great day. I enjoyed it very much. Talk to you soon, my friend.
Be good.
All right. Have a good one.
You too.
All right. Bye.